Folks, welcome on back for a brand new week here. This is Monday, April 28th, almost the end of the pay period, I should say that. Great to have all of us, though, back here live, joining us, though, inside our live trading room. Great to see Grant, Chuck, Kathleen, Lawrence, Gillis, all of our students inside our live trading room. Great to have you back there. I see Phil and Margaret, a lot of us just joining us, coming off the weekend. Great to have all of us here there. I see Alicia, Thomas, Adel, Wiz from Prague. Actually, good afternoon to him and any one of us perhaps over not just here in the U.S., North America, of course. We have Prague, we have Germany, we have a few of us actually Aztec area, New Zealand, Australia area. So great to have Scott, Rich, Dave, all of us just joining us here. This is a great day for education, and let me explain why. Today, we have at 10:30 Eastern this morning, our Phase 2 stock course, our more intermediate-based style class. We'll have the chance to break down trades like this MLGO here. I say like because this is not just the only stock that we'll have the chance to go through here today, call out, trade. But this was a nice runner to begin pre-market. We'll have the chance to go through this stock, if not more, if not in class. But in between our classes today, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, I like to pop this up here. There we are. Subscribe right to our channel down below at Cyber Trading U on Mondays at noon Eastern. I come on here, do a live workshop called Traders Talk. So that's accessible to anyone. If you're inside our live trading room, if you're on YouTube, open house for that. That'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern time here today. Now, if you're a new member, at least, that will give you really the best outlet, the best chance to know why we're doing exactly what we're doing. Here today, we're actually doing our more intermediate style classes, as I had said. So those classes actually are not really meant for beginners and, not even just new students of CTU, but just new market participants alike. This workshop I'm doing at noon Eastern today, Traders Talk, that is much better for you. And then we'll have the chance to go down or go through just the basics even on this MLGO. But with that in mind, we did very well from the end of last week on Friday. Obviously, the market was ripping. We saw Palantir, NVIDIA, Amazon, and of course, Tesla. Of course, I wouldn't have to, or I would have to start this meeting off by going over Tesla. Fausto's been on top of this for a long time now. He's got a smile on his face right now as we speak. So with that, this stock ended up making a huge move just shortly after the market had opened up. A little bit of consolidation, but once it broke, higher, broke over pre-market levels from early in the morning here, completely took off, right? That's easy to say in hindsight. Now, of course, though, if you're someone here that doesn't trade Tesla because it's a little more expensive, you got the ETF. You got this TSLL, which is synonymous with Tesla. Technically, this is, I think, a double leveraged move, but it's cheaper. It makes, double the amount percentage-wise, at least, that regular equity does. But they both made the same exact run at the same exact time. They topped off right around like 130 here, ended up making higher lows, at least heading into the close. Now, obviously, even higher it is this morning. I'm sure you could say the same for a lot of different trades here today. So PLTR, you got the ETF PLTU. Listen, PLTR is probably even better right now as a swing trade. Tesla moved up probably more from the last 2 weeks, but with the news that came out with NATO, I don't want to, start fear-mongering, right? Obviously, what happened over the weekend with Putin and North Korea, right? I think North Korea is sending troops over to, Russia. There's obviously things still going on with that. Now, hey, how does that factor in with Palantir? Well, if the war isn't ending anytime soon, or if there's just war still going on at some point, then NATO rightfully is acquiring Palantir services. That was the whole thing from a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That's what led this to make a pretty strong pop off of that news, but it's only gotten stronger since. So I'm not trying to root war on. I don't think anyone here is. But as long as there's still some tension there, then I'm sure that news is still very relevant towards the geopolitical climate. Now, with that, this is up 1%, moving up great here in pre-market this morning. I'm going to add Tesla and the Palantir trades just to our watch list, kind of no-brainers there to begin. And remember, we're not just day trading these stocks, we're swing trading them too. So NVIDIA is doing pretty good itself this morning, right? Maybe not up as much as Palantir, but doing good. Amazon moving a little higher from Friday. That's doing all right. AMD was one recently that's been moving up pretty nicely. Of course, you'll get to the Bitcoin stocks, Coinbase, MicroStrategy. Robinhood's probably been the best of those. So I wouldn't mind just specifically adding Robinhood to our watch list. Kind of just, these are all side list stocks of ours. Tesla, Palantir, Robinhood here, that we call out regularly. It's not every day, but when they're showing good direction on the swing chart, as well as the day trading chart here, then you still want to focus on them. So those three I'm going to put on our main list. But it wasn't even just those from Friday that we did very well on. Give me a second here. Give me a moment here, folks. A little screen slip up right now inside our live room. There we go. We are good to go inside our live trading room. Just caught that right now, Rich. So if that was only down for like a minute, that was pretty good. Now, needless to be said, though, we traded not just Tesla or Palantir, but we did very well on some of the AI stocks. BBAI is like a cheaper stock, a little slower mover, but it ended up making a nice run, right? It's not something that you'd be writing home about compared to the Palantir, compared to the Tesla trade, but did pretty nice. Go from 3 up to over 350, obviously pushing up again this morning in pre-market. The Soon trade, not from Friday, but this was one from last week. We did pretty well on here. This was Thursday, so it took off pretty nicely. The AI sector starting to get pretty hot again. And then with that, I think some of the quantums did okay. Some of the quantum stocks back from the end of last week, not Friday, but Thursday, end up making a pretty good pop here. QUBT, Rigetti. I think the better one was IO&Q, right? IO&Q is the one that was holding better on Friday, at least. Moving up pretty nicely here in pre-market, right? Don't get me wrong. IO&Q, it's inching up back up a little bit here. I'll come back to these if you want me to. At the end of this meeting, if you want me to go through these quantum trades, the AI trades again, I actually think that we'll add BBAI here specifically to our list this morning because it's up, 7 or now it's up 10%, but doing pretty good here so far. So look out for resistance, not even at $4 on this trade. You have a 65,000 share sell order out there, but even right above that at 409, there's a smaller iceberg there to complement it. That's on the BBAI trade. So you can, point blank see your resistance here. It's on the level 4 screen. And if you're on social media, again, this is what we primarily show inside our live trading room. But later on this afternoon, noon Eastern time, I'll be coming back on here myself doing a live workshop. So you get 85,000 here at $4. And then also, like we'd said, another 25 or so thousand at $4.10 there. This will definitely go on our watch list here, at least the BBAI. Now, let's go from top to bottom right now. We'll scan across the week. I know Carrie said it was a big earnings week coming up. Rich, if you don't mind, just post the earnings calendar there again, if you can, for this upcoming week, just Monday to Friday all the way through. Definitely a big earnings week, and probably be a couple of names that won't even be on that calendar because it's so big, it's so packed out. So we're going to post that picture. We'll show it at the end of this meeting here coming up. Let's go right through here, though. INEO. Hey, let me just ask everyone here, a softball question here, if I may. What's the trend of this stock right now? What's the trend going on right now on this chart, on my screen, the screen that you are looking at with your own 2 eyes? What's the trend? Question is not how much percentage is up right now. The question is, what's the trend? At least on this chart with your 2 eyes, you can see this is down, right? So I'm not as motivated, as incentivized to trade this or focus on this more compared to the others that we already have on our list, simply given trend. It's as simple as that. And you could say the same here, GLMD. Maybe it could hold support at this area here going into the open. Maybe it could hit that bounce. There's a better thought for this to try and pop, I think, compared to the INEO. I say that just specifically right now. Of course, this could pop at some point too. But I will add the GLMD, at least to our list for right now. I think this has good volume on the order book as well. Good spread, pretty filled in price levels here on the bid and on the ask at both sides there. All right, we'll keep going. Good chart, but now the issue will be liquidity or lack thereof. This CGON not really showing much out there on the order book. So pass on that. Now, the one that we talked about earlier, right? MLGO. So I'm not going to go over this right now. I'm just going to put this on our watch list right now. Why am I not going to go over this right now? Because we're going to go over it in class. We're going to go over it in our workshop later on today. So stay tuned. If you're on social media, again, we'll come back at noon Eastern time right here, and we'll likely have the chance to break this down from A to Z. But actually, really briefly with that, I want to shout out a bunch of our students. I know a bunch of us did pretty well on this MLGO trade just before. Chuck got in for about he got in for about $1.20. And Carrie was in from like $8.10 when it first ended up popping. So she made her day's pay on this trade. She got out at $10.17, had about like $2 on that pretty clean. Maybe Phil made money on that, a couple more at least otherwise. And again, we'll cover this more in full in our workshop. All right, let's see what else. SABR, nice pop here right now. SABR right at 9 o'clock. This thing just made a move. So definitely more keen to put this on our watch list. SABR. What do we got? Looks like, ooh, I don't know if this is it's not a full buyout. This is not a full buyout. TPG, they're also public, agrees to acquire SABR, their hospitality solutions business, for 1.1 billion in cash. So I think that they're selling a part of their company. It's not a total buyout. We talked about this in our news class just at the end of last week, where once it's a confirmed like buyout of a full company, you're not going to see like great movement on the chart. I'll consider this at least. I'll slip this on our list for right now. It's not a total buyout. They're just kind of selling off a part of their business. And when a company sells a part of their business for cash, yeah, they're going to move up in price. But the question is there going to be trend? Is there going to be direction to it? AMPY, at least, this one starting to show a little life, a little direction here going back up. So I like that a little bit more. I'll add that as well. Kathleen called out Omex earlier today when it first took off. It was a great call out from her, but I want to go over the daily chart because I turned over to this afterwards. I'm like, it's not like a really great one, I feel, unless if there's something that people know about this company that we don't here at CTU. But when this stock got crushed from, mid-September from 5 down to below $1, it's like Fausto always says himself. I mean, he screams this off the mountaintops when he does the meeting with you guys. These stocks do not come back. Pharma companies or any sort of company after a big drop like this, it's not often for them to retrace all the way back up. And if they decide to retrace, it's going to take a long ass time. And that's what happens here. This thing has been about what, like 8 months, 9 months going sideways. It popped up a little bit back from the end of last week. This might be off of the news with Trump and the deep sea mining, though. So you got Omex. What was the other one that we had? Not RIG, RIG. That was the more lackluster of the bunch. KIT, KITT. I mean, look at where this is at now, right? We were hopeful for 120, 122 to hold over as a support, as a swing level. If it's not going to do that, then you don't want to get stuck hoping and holding on to these smaller cap trades. So at least with this OMEX, it's holding a little bit here. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But if it dumps right back down afterwards, though, I wouldn't be shocked looking at just the daily chart there. See better support you begin to brew, and then maybe a better slingshot later on. That might be the case. So I'll put it on our list for now, but if it drops back down there, it wouldn't surprise me. All right, what else we got? LTRY lottery. Who's trying to win the lottery today? If you are, then please don't be here because we're not trying to gamble, right? We're trying to make educated decisions with our money, at least. So with that said, our classes will help us out more by going through our strategy in class, the phase 2 course. But LTRY, little pop. Maybe I'll put that on our list at the end if I need to. Ooh, rather save it for Wolf, though. WOLF, Wolf Speed. Yeah, Mike making a nice little pop. Definitely strong move up right now. So that will be more, likely to go on our list there. I like that one. List number 17 is up 7%. So, Weeble's like spotty chart, not really doing it for me there. Peloton. All right, we're pretty much right at 5%. So we want to make sure our students have enough time to prep up, get ready for the market open, myself included. But let's go through here, see what we got. SPCB pop, then drop. I don't know what happened there, but not really too interested in it regardless. We got a big list right now. We don't need to pack out this list with 10, 12, 13 different stocks. There's no need to. In fact, that actually hurts us more, makes us more overwhelmed, congested with all these different trades moving. All right. Well, that was pretty simple. I mean, that was it from the loser side there. Nothing else really looking great. Plug looking great. So, you know what, Mike? This might have to do with just energy companies altogether because that Wolf Speed took off. Now you got Plug going berserk. There might be something with like batteries, hydrogen powered batteries, fuel cell, like something going on here. Let's take a look. Wolf, no news yet on that, but they're both energy related companies. This is specific to Plug. This came out at 8 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before that. They actually had earnings, it looks like. No, Oh, they expect the quarter two revenue. Let's see. They signed a 525 million secured credit facility. Oh, they also did report quarter one. Okay, yeah. It is a combination of that. All right, but otherwise, though, why is Wolf making a very similar type of move at the same exact time? They're both energy related, so I didn't know if it was more in tune with a sector more than anything. Some of the other major energy companies, they're not really moving as well right now. All right, well, I'll tell you what. We got Wolf, we got Plug, and that's pretty much it, folks. If there's anything else looking like those, let me know in the chat board. If there's anything else looking like Plug or Wolf, or anything else running right now at the highs, that's what we would want to focus on. If it's not looking like that at this stage in the morning, I would just focus on our watch list here. All right, carry on the AMPY. Yeah, I think that we have that on our list, don't we? Yeah, we put that on there already, showing some good bounce from 8 o'clock in the morning here. So hopefully this continues. Definitely. TMC from Margaret. Forgot about that one. You know what? I saw this on my scanner earlier, Margaret, and I was like, oh, wait, I didn't go over that. I know now. I know why. It came back down after I was looking at it. I didn't call this out, but I saw it, on my own scans early. And if it starts to pop back up again, then definitely try and focus on it. But don't get stuck watching this right now when we already have 8 or 9 other stocks that are looking a hell of a lot better to start, especially those that are less expensive, like this one at least is. So hey, maybe at like 9:45 in the morning, maybe at 10 o'clock in the morning, if I or Rich start to see this pop up on the scanners, at least we'll immediately turn over to it, because at least from the end of last week, it was running up pretty nicely. Looks like this was a rude shake here. Oh, this was after hours. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't remember this type of rude shake during regular hours. This was in the aftermarket here on Thursday. But outside of that, this stock's been moving up pretty nice normally. It's just that typically going into the market open, you got to see better movement than this at least. So it's a good sideless stock. Good sideless stock. Where's Fausto today? Well, he had told me that he was going to take the morning off. He might even be at his desk right now here, perhaps. But I know that he has a bunch of different things throughout today where he said for the most part he was going to be away from his desk. So perhaps you might have Fausto in at some point here. Perhaps not. He'll definitely be here tomorrow regardless. We had a busy week this week, not just with class, but also with our podcasts this week as well, especially if you're on YouTube, Facebook Live. If you are not a member, not a student, if you are not as much in the know with our week-to-week happenings, keep in mind, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have big podcasts, Fausto, and great educators and presenters through the trading industry. We do this each and every Tuesday and Wednesday. So here, I'll pop this up one more time before we jump off. But if you have not hit the follow or subscribe button on YouTube, on social media, be a friend, tell a friend, hit the follow or subscribe button right down below at SABR Trading U. And then otherwise, we'll be back on YouTube later on today, actually, as we had said from the top. Mondays at 12 o'clock Eastern, I do a live workshop myself called Traders Talk. And that will give us the best chance, the best outlet, really, to break down some of these higher flying moves, some of these larger moves that we've caught so far throughout the day. And in fact, I'll show you a little sneak peek, because pretty much I gave the playbook out to our students earlier this morning on this stock as far as the levels go. So if you're on social media, come back at noon Eastern time and let's see what happens with this 10 to 10:15 area. Because I was saying that, hey, if this holds over 10 to 10:15, then there's a chance for a move back up. If it can't hold this as support, then there's a better chance of it dropping faster to the next support line. So far, so good. This has been holding 10 to 10:15 like a rock. This thing has been flawless off of this exact area. Well, why did I call this area out in advance? How did we make that call out at 8:35 in the morning, right? About almost an hour and a half, or about an hour ago, pretty much, we were making that call out. Well, why are we focused on that level? Why is it holding so well here? Well, I know the reason why. You should know the reason why right now. It's the volume. It's the buyers that are stepping in that are helping support this stock. But coming up at noon later today, we'll have a much greater chance to break this down in full for you. Now, otherwise, for Chuck, Roberto, Bell, Glenn, Uday, Greg, Ron, all of our students right now in chat, give me a quick moment. The water glass is full, but I gotta hydrate. We'll be good to go though, folks. Coming up just right at the opening bell. Last call. The ball went in the hoop there, Brad. Buzzer beater. What about Peloton? I saw this at the end of my gainers list here. I looked at it for all of 0.2 seconds. It just wasn't looking that great on the intraday chart, but it's up. Hey, if it pops at the open or after the open, I'm sure we'll call it out. But I'd rather focus on the watch list that we're about to post here. All right. Folks, hey, best of luck trading going into the market open today. If you're not joining us inside our room, but otherwise, Debbie, Grant, Brad, Margaret, all of us aside, we'll be back on here in just about 10 or so minutes. Take care.